So my background is I got into the recruitment markets about 30 years ago, and I've been training for the last 15 years. And about 8 years ago, I got invited to a talk which profoundly changed or influenced my direction and my purpose. Profoundly. So leaders would have to invest a lot more in their talent and help their talent to shine and create environments for them to shine in. Airbnb. The competitive advantage is less and less about what you do and more about who you are and how you do it. Who you are, what you stand for, your purpose, and how you do things around here. I set up what at the time was a blog called Enviable Workplace, really as a sort of an online resource for companies to find the resources to create great culture. I've just seen you in the audience. What's happened? Has someone planted you for me? To create great company culture, to help people become better who's and offer better hows. You know, I know that you've got your core values as a business, and we were discussing values in this workshop, the vision workshop that I was running earlier. I thought it would be quite nice to have a bit of a conversation around what your personal values are. What values would you want to pass on to your children? I love that. What values would you want to pass on to your children? So, you've got about 3 or 4 minutes, and then I'll gather you up. It's all yours. Go for it. Now, we've only got so much time to do it because I've got other material to cover, but I don't mind if you think of more things as we go through the presentation, because I think this is quite important. As I say, as you leave, cover that glass at the back of the room. I think it'd be an awesome photo to have all your personal values up there. I want you to just hold the post-it notes up in the air so I can see how many values there are. Okay, this is what I want you to do. On the count of 3, I want you to shout out at the top of your voice your top value on the count of 3. Very loud. 1, 2, 3. I'm feeling that. That's great. This guy knew a thing or two about purpose. Everything that Apple did was about their belief and their purpose. They just happened to make the products that carry that. But for me, in the recruitment world, I see this all the time. This is how I see it with individual purpose, actually, where I've got 3 CVs together. And if I had a penny or a euro every time this happened, over the years, I'm looking at 3 CVs. 2 CVs are eminently qualified, have all the detail, all the experience. The third person doesn't. They have something about them. It's very powerful stuff when you put someone or yourselves at a point further down the line, and then you explore what success looks like for you personally, professionally. Now, we've talked this morning, I've heard guys up here talk about 1-2-year plans and development plans. This is a way to start to unlock that stuff, to find out what journeys can look like. I also shared today that I do quite a lot of talks in schools for sixth formers who are getting into work and wanting tips on how to get into work, and most schools do CV stuff. My stuff's about generations and understanding how to mirror generations and understanding the different attitudes of generations. And I said that, my mother's generation it was all about what are you going to do for your life? What's your profession going to be? I'm going to be a doctor. Great. Go and do that for 80 years. And that's what the expectations were. And when I got into recruitment in the 80s, it was 5 years. If you had less than 5 years on a CV and a job, you were considered unreliable, inconsistent, non-trustworthy. And I think if you go and talk to the people that have done it, I'm confident that most of them would say, wow, it really got us thinking about, what success is and what's important to us and what our purpose is and what our values are. And then off the back of that, the trick is then to start the conversation, to understand how do you then turn that from a wish board into something that is an action board.